to a couple other groups to make us go live.
Looks like we're live now. It looks like, if I'm seeing the counter right.
Yep. Now we're going to get into a couple other groups if this thing ever pops up.
I'm just going to wait for you to talk to me. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. It won't take long. How's your day? How's your work?
It was good. Good. Yeah, it's fun. Got to keep the old body moving.
I still hate working out. Okay.
It's actually most days the best part of my day. Usually.
Really? We
the endorphins, the rush, the challenge, yeah.
We freaking did. What was it? It was me, Pritchard, Nico, and Gary all played 2-on-2 basketball, best 2 out of 3, and I thought my lungs were bleeding. It was so bad. Oh my god! We were like this group chat. And I was like, man, I'm gonna fuck y'all up. And then I remember I got a rebound. I missed it, and then I out hustled Pritchard to chase a ball, and I had to take like a break for 2 minutes of like relaxing on defense to catch my breath. It was so. Oh my god!
This is good.
We fucking lost too. Who was it? Pritchard and Gary beat me and Nico by like 3. No, I don't know how much it was by. Pritchard would probably know.
Winners or what happened? Winners? Whoever made it took it out?
Yeah. There's make it, take it. And then fucking Pritchard's stone ass rim. I'm just making excuses now. Pritchard has no, like, it's this super solid rim, hard as a rock.
Home court advantage, huh?
It was a home court advantage. It was fucking awful.
Oh, that's great. Well, you're getting out there. You're having fun. That's good.
Right. I couldn't make a jump shot to save my life.
That's why they're layups.
Couldn't make a layup to save my life either.
Oh, no. That's not good. It's hard to win when you can't score.
Right. It's really hard to win when you can't fucking score. Your face is really fuzzy. Like your whole screen is fuzzy. Is that your internet connection?
It's probably my shitty camera on my computer. I'm doing it from my computer, not my phone.
Oh, you usually do them from your phone?
I have done them from my phone before, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, this is my good friend, Michael. Yeah. He owns the office we're all out of, the hub. We have some cool stuff going on with, we'll talk about us with the down payment assistance program that we're going to try and put forward to help someone get into a house. Obviously, we're not going to be fucking giving houses away. But if someone's struggling, we think like we could put their family in a better position to be more successful down the line. That's something we can do. And we'll have you explain it because I have a different mentality about owning a house. I was like, why the fuck does someone need a house? I was like, we're going to make more money. And then you told me about like, okay, your upbringing, like how, no, like it was really, it helped us a lot. So let's just start off telling about the hub and everything else we do. I mean, I'm in our office right now. It's a great place. We had a homeless woman, our same old homeless lady laying in the shade. I didn't want to kick her out because I walked down to go get lunch and it was 108 degrees. I didn't get off our grass. But yeah, it's awesome. Let's tell them about the hub and what we have going on and how it's a resource for investors in the Central Valley.
Yeah, so the hub is something that, I'm blessed enough to be in a position to put together. I bought it, fixed it up, spent a bunch of money. And now what I want it to be is just, I want it to be something that is part of me for the next 50 years, at which point I'll be 100. And then I want it to live for 100 years after me. I want it to be filled with real estate investors and entrepreneurs that are their own business, but more importantly, have the go-giver mentality. They're willing to help when someone calls or they're find somebody that's struggling or whatever. I just think there's a mentality in real estate that you go one of two ways, and I see both sides. One of them is I'm all about the money. It's eat or be eaten. I win, you lose, and those people burn out very quickly, right? I've been in sales for the nearly 30 years, and yes, you can have a good quarter. You can even have a good year with that mentality. But if you want to be in business for decades, you need to have more of a helping mentality. It's not only what you do, but who knows you. We need to be a place to attract business and quality people. So that's what I hope the hub becomes. Right now, it is not performing as well as I would like. I'll just put it out there, right? It's been open for 6 or 9 months. We've had 3 or 4 people cycle through that just it didn't work out for. But I'm looking. There's 3 offices empty now. I'm looking to put the right people in. I don't need to accept anybody, right? I own the building free and clear, so I don't need to say yes. But if we can find 3 or 4 more people to put in there that are helping, and it's a net positive for the building and then a net positive for Fresno, that will be good, right? I have lots of investors following me now that want to see what's going on. I've attracted lots of private money. I could do lots of deals. I have millions of dollars at my disposal. So if the hub can attract deals for all of us, I know we can all do better. But that's my vision for the hub, is just to help lots of people and have it live for 100 years after I'm dead and gone.
Yeah, and I think one thing we need to emphasize is like people who come in who raise the bar, and like it's an environment to where it is collaboration, but it's still competitive because you don't want to talk to your friends because you're doing shitty.
Yeah.
Or like where you come in and everybody's doing business.
Yeah, I want to post a big whiteboard up there so we all see what everybody's doing. Erase it every month, make it a monthly thing. I want it to be, I want it to be healthy competition, if that makes sense.
And then people who are people of their word. I know we had one situation with the sweetheart of the office, but probably the best man I know, to where we want people who honor what they're going to do, who are real business people, upstanding business people, and abide by it as well. Yeah,
again, I'm in a very lucky situation. There is no question at the end of the day, that's my building. It's also no question of the day that I'm never there, right? I'm there once a month, maybe twice a month. So I get the final call, right? There's a dictator in charge. If I get a feeling that you're not performing and the rest of that office is calling you a cancer, or like whatever you want to call that, you're not helping, I'll just call you up and say, that's your last month. You're done, right? I didn't ask for yearly leases. I did month to month. So we both have the rights to leave either way. So again, I would rather leave that office empty than put somebody in that is going to detract from the rest of the building. So I really do have big plans for this. I won't lie. I'm disappointed how it's going. I'm disappointed in the agents that we've had thus far because they're not using the office, right? I think they're good agents, but they're not using the office. I need people coming and involved. I know there's a lady, Blanca. I don't know if you know Blanca. She's out of Sacramento. She has a team in Fresno. She tells me she's got 3 or 4 people, right? So if she wants to use 3 or 4 offices, maybe that will get a vibe going. I don't know. But I'm open to talking to whoever wants to come in. I'll make a deal. I'm not trying to gouge anybody on rent. I want that building to have a vibration of positive energy. And right now it doesn't, right? It's got 3 or 4 rock stars, but I need 8 rock stars, right? So that's what the hub is. And to this point, it's not performing. It's just not.
Yeah, it's been harder than I thought it was. I feel like if we were in like a big city like Houston or one thing like that, to where there's millions and millions of people, we'd be able to handle that. But it's a little bit different.
Okay. It'll get there. Sometimes you have, you have big dreams and it's supposed to be easy, but it's not. There's not a lot of people in real estate investing or the real estate world that you got to be at a certain size, right? You can't just be, I've done my first deal, because then you can't afford the office, right? The office is still $100 a month, right? If you've only done one deal, why do it? And you can't be so big that you're buying your own building, right? So I'm definitely serving a sweet spot, and you got to be hungry and you got to be a go-giver, right? I've said no to some people just in the last year. I'm like, I don't think you're going to be a fit for the building. You would rub my other people that I care about the wrong way. So yeah, it's okay. But it'll get there, I think.
Let's talk about your YouTube page, because I love your daily financial news. It's the only way I educate myself about what the hell's going on in the world.
I appreciate that. So I was inspired by Nipsey Hussle and Gary Vee. They had an interview, must have been 2 years ago now. I listened to it on the drive back from Fresno. And basically Gary Vee challenged Nipsey Hussle before his passing and said, Nipsey, you got some flow, you talk a good game, but could you create a song a day? Right? That was essentially the challenge. If you go back and listen to that great interview, which I've listened to 2 or 3 times now. And Nipsey's like, I feel you. I got you. I think I could do that. And on the way back, I'm thinking about my YouTube channel, which would just started, right? And people are talking about doing it every 3 days and doing it like Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday and all that nonsense. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to do something every goddamn day, and it's going to be unique and original content. And oh, by the way, I'm already doing something. I have been looking at the financial news from about 6:30 to 7:30 every day for the last 20 years. I was already doing it. I'm now just taking notes, and I'm talking to a camera for 15 minutes. So I appreciate that. Again, I think you can watch it. It is non-political. It occasionally hits political topics, but I never let my side, because I don't really care about either side, out there. But yeah, I mean, we talk about everything, the good, bad, and the ugly.
I mean, it gets political because Gavin Newsom's the stupid. That's neither here nor there. It's neither here
yeah,
nor there.
he needs to go. He has single-handedly created a $54 billion hole in the California budget that we are all going to be paying for the next 3 or 4 years. We are likely going to see Prop 13 disappear in some fashion. He will be raising property taxes and fees. And oh, by the way, he's going to make it so unfriendly for businesses. We are going to see businesses leave. And that is all his doing. No question.
I mean, this whole eviction thing, we have 2 fucking evictions going right now, and they still want to push it back more. I read that article you sent me. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
They want to push it back like indefinitely is what they said?
Basically, yeah. Basically, Gavin Newsom thinks you can mandate a social contract, which is not what contracts are for. There are already lawyers and attorneys lining up to prevent that because it's in our Constitution. You cannot interfere with contracts between 2 parties. It's in the Constitution. Gavin Newsom is going against the U.S. Constitution. So it's not going to go far, but unfortunately, that's not going to be resolved until you get to the Supreme Court, whether it's the California Supreme Court or elsewise. So there's going to be a lot of mom and pop landlords hurt, which is why we should be marketing to mom and pop landlords, right? Because again, at the hub, we have the financial strength and wherewithal that either A, we could do owner financing, right? Well, we'll pay the owner whatever we agree to as a mortgage payment, and then they remove the risk, and then we'll carry on the risk of other things. So again, we need to be of service. We need to educate folks, which the hub is. And sometimes people need help, and I want them to come to the hub. That's why I got the building on Van Ness. That's why we spent $6,000 on that freaking light up sign, so people can see it 24 hours a day, man. And you know, if you need help, you want to talk real estate, come to the hub.
And so when do you think this eviction shit's going to end, realistically? Because this has been the most painful. Like, we wholesaled one to a girl in our market, and an old woman had her 6-year-old fucking son living with her, and he refused to leave, and we can't get him out of the house, and we can't even file for an eviction.
Well, I think the courts are going to open up in Fresno very likely at the end of June. And I would suspect that there will be lots of legal filings. I would expect evictions to be filed sometime in July. We're almost to the end of it. I do not seeing it being indefinite. It goes against the U.S. Constitution, and that's, last time I checked, that's still an important document.
Yeah, it's nuts. I don't even know how. I don't want to invest out here. I'm looking into Indiana right now. Like, I'm doing some subs 2 stuff, but unless it's like I can wrap it or something else, I don't want to deal with the bullshit of having to deal with it.
You know, I think so. I think that's an overreaction, right? California is really good because you can watch the ups and downs of the real estate cycle, and you can play them, right? Indiana and Texas and all these they're all kind of boring, right? Where you make money in real estate, cash flow's nice, right? Cash flow is kind of cool, but you need a lot of units. But if you can play the appreciation and deflation game, that's where you get freaking rich, man. You know, so we're going into a down cycle for some assets. So if you can pick up some distressed, cash flow for a little while, I think you'll be paid off. And plus, if you can play the frustrated landlord card, I think we can pick up some seller financing. We should do some marketing to landlords over 60 and go, you know what? California's screwed. Time to sell. Wouldn't you want to do some owner financing? I'm game to pick up another 100 or 200 units in Fresno in the next year. I'm not going to Indiana. I'm not going to Texas. I'm not going to Alabama.
No, I mean, Indiana, I love for the cash flow and then the tenant laws. And I get like playing the market, but I hate betting on appreciation. Like I'm not going to sit there.
Oh,
and
no, I believe
anything else. I just want to buy it. Like, okay, cash flow, pull my money out, build my portfolio. And then like, okay, whatever, we keep marketing out here. If it's a screaming deal, and that's obviously what we market for and to get, okay, what's taken down. But I don't want to focus my entire portfolio on it because I want cash flow. I don't really care about appreciation. I just want straight up cash flow.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you've read my book, One Rental at a Time, appreciation is no part of my story. I just know if you learn your market, like I talk about all the time, you can buy below street value and then let appreciation come back, and then you sell it for above street value. I mean, that's what I did in 2019. I did it in 06 when I sold all my houses, and I did it in 2019 when I sold 3 different apartment buildings. When people want to pay stupid prices, let them. And it happens in California all the time.
I don't get it. I don't get how people are buying some of this. Like we still market to multifamily. We still have marketing going out, but like most of it has been absolute nonsense. Like the stuff that people like, hey, well, a broker told me. I had the 9 units we were looking at. I talked to a broker about it, and the broker said they wouldn't list it because the guy wanted too much money. Like just stuff like that, it's madness.
Yeah. I would tell you to follow up on stuff like that because again, I have the luxury or the pain of investing through a cycle like this before. I would check in every 90 days because what we're suffering through is sellers remember January, buyers want July, and we're in this price discovery phase. And right now the sellers are still stuck in January. And we all know that financing has changed and down payment has changed and cap rates have changed. It's going to blow up. And I know this firsthand. I have a property on Millbrook, 18 units that sold for 1.44 in 2006. I bought it in 2011 for 700 grand. Right? It happens. It takes a while. There's a building that went on Diana that went for 480. I bought for 220. Right? It just, it was a 10-unit building, right? So it'll happen. It just takes time. But when it breaks in mass. So just keep poking at it. That's what I would tell you to do.
Drop first, single family or multifamily?
What will drop first?
Yeah, what do you think will drop first? Because I see a lot of variances coming in and then all those evictions. I see that compounding second quarter next year when everybody's unemployment is finally up and then everything's like, oh shit, fuck, okay, there is no money. Or whatever, the forbearance is off. And then all those start to come. We have all these evictions that have been waiting. Nobody's like, even though you want to be a kind person, you're still paying the fucking bank.
Oh yeah. So I think single families, given the volume, it will see price deterioration first. But we got to be careful, right? Specifically in Fresno, the supply to demand ratio is way out of whack. There's very little supply and the demand is here. I believe last Friday is going to go down as an event that changes it. So we're going to see listings come up. And the question is, will it ever get passed? So I do think it's possible, given all the furloughs and the unemployment picture, that we're going to see a lot of pain in single family homes kind of like February, March. So I think housing first, but I think it's like 5 to 10%, maybe. I think multifamily gets crushed. This value add multifamily stuff, anything bought in 18, 19, and 20, just fucking overpaid. And given the financing, that will come due like late 22, or late 21, early 2022, because they can hold on because they got financing and commercial is different, right? So I think multifamily will fall more just later, if that makes sense.
Okay. And then what else? I mean, I have some friends in industrial who say they're so busy because so many people are pulling out of multifamily because of everything that's going on. And so industrial started to blow up because of e-commerce and everything else to where everybody.
Yeah, I think industrial is probably the best asset for this time frame, for sure.
Right. I would do it if I understood anything about it. And then
Yeah,
now,
stay in your lane, because you can go broke if you don't stay in your lane.
right, go buy some cement building in the middle of nowhere. Don't know what to do with it. So let's talk about what we decided to do with this down payment assistance program. It'll be me, you, and Michael Butler, just helping pick out a family. I don't care, like single parent, minority, who's working hard. And let's talk about your story, because I was like, man, why the fuck do they need a house? I was like, make more money. And then you had a different approach, because I mean, we were raised completely differently. I was raised just like middle class. And I didn't know our financial standing most of the time. But then you told me like a completely different story.
Yeah. So my financial standing, and really why I'm here today to talk to you, is because when my parents got out of the military at 20 and 22, or 22 and 24, they were able to qualify via the GI Bill to buy a house in Sunnyvale, California for about $24,000. If they did not have that GI Bill and the ability to get that house in what became the Silicon Valley, it wasn't the Silicon Valley in 1975, but that's what they bought. And it's the only reason I'm here today with you. We were so dirt poor and broke at different times in 81 and 87 and some other times, that if my parents didn't have that house to fall back on as equity, the ability to borrow against it, we would have had to sell it. We would have lost it. And I would have probably been raised in Michigan at my grandparents' house, which my life would just be fundamentally different, right? Somebody who was raised in Silicon Valley, since I was 2 years old, to somebody that maybe was in the Silicon Valley until he was 6 and then raised in Michigan. I would just be a different person. I mean, there's no judgment. I would just be different. And my mom, who is from Detroit, has often reminded me that my situation would probably not be as good, right? My circle of friends and all of that would have been different. I probably would not have gone to college, may not have even have graduated high school, because that wasn't the environment that was in Michigan at the time.
Yep.
And so that's always stuck with me. My family's never had any money. They've never made more than 50 grand. I mean, my parents, right? I made more than my parents when I was 27. So they never had anything. So the thing that I know is if you can become an owner of a house, it becomes something you can use if you have to. But more importantly, that house payment was something my parents fought, struggled, and even I made the payment on a couple of times when I would do odd jobs or paint fences or whatever, because we knew we had to pay it, because it was the only bank we had, right? We never had a savings or a checking account to speak of. So I know that I wouldn't be here today to tell my story of one rental at a time if my parents weren't able to get a house and keep a house in Sunnyvale, California, because of the GI Bill. So I want to help a family who I think is doing the right things, that is just missing the down payment or just missing getting there. And I'd love to help I would love for us, the hub, to help one family a year. That would be my goal. And it's obviously with the down payment. Then we have to talk about whether or not we match their down payment or we do a loan or any of that. We are not buying anybody a house. Let's be very clear. That's not what this is. I just need to help. I want to help somebody with a down payment. And if they can qualify for an FHA loan, that means we're talking about 3.5%. Maybe we match it. So they put down 1.75 and we put down the other 1.75. Maybe we do a 3.5% loan at 0%, or there's just so many things that we could do. I want you and Michael to really find us that first family this year. I've already dedicated money. I've put it aside to make this happen. I've had lots of people reach out when they saw the video about Talk is Cheap, going, oh, you should create a nonprofit. Oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do that. And I'm like, fuck you guys. I want to go do this once. See if it works. And then if the answer is too hard, because maybe a bank, I talked to a bank and they're like, are you related to this person? I'm like, no. Well, then it's a gift. And I mean, it's all this stuff you have to figure out. So maybe the right answer is investing in another nonprofit. But I want you and Michael to find us a family, ideally a minority family that's been trying to get there, that has some skin in the game, and we'll go make it happen. I really want to help. If I can help one family a year get to what my family had, I would just feel a lot better.
Right. I mean, it's just nice to grow up in a house, especially now, though. I mean, I have a different on owning a house, but then being home all day in this bullshit coronavirus, and you're
Yeah.
at home with your 3 fucking kids. They're watching the word party, running around. You got a 1-bedroom apartment. That's rough.
Rough.
Rough. It's just rough. I mean, even our 2-year-old in our house, and we got 3 bedrooms, it's like 1,800 square feet with a backyard, and it's still like, man, you are so goddamn loud, you know. What are you doing, man?
I'm gonna buy your kids some drums. We'll get it loud.
I mean, it's just hard. So I think that would be awesome. And we're gonna do this in Fresno, California.
Absolutely.
We're not gonna do it anywhere else. If anybody else is following me, we want to do it in Fresno, California. And like, I want a professional. We're not just gonna give like the money away to like some random person. Like, oh hey, here's my sob story. I need a house. Like, no, like you got to be approved from a bank. You got to like be on the right track. Like single parent, working, maybe you're a nurse, like at some type of job to where, hey, I want to buy a house and it'll put me in a better situation for my life.
Yes.
That's what I want to support. Like where your head's on straight.
Amen.
Like obviously, like I donate to other organizations and I have a nonprofit to where we help in other situations to get someone to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But we just want to like, okay, you're there. Let's push you across let's just nudge you.
Yeah. You've got to the, I don't know, you're a football player, right? You've gotten to the 3-yard line. Let us open the hole so you can get through.
All right, let's bring in the bus. Bring in the bus.
There you go. Michael Butler can do it. Yeah, he'll create the hole.
Michael Butler's gonna go on through. But yeah, what up? I'd love to get more people in the hub who are doing legit business. It is really so hard to have like people at our. It's a little bit different because I'm not some massive organization and most of my business runs out of VAs.
Mm-hmm.
Like my call center is completely based out of VAs, and then I believe I'm just going to hire on a VA to close deals instead of bringing on someone virtually because we're going to have someone on virtually anyways. So it's going to be a weird spot to where, I mean, I don't really want newbies. It may be different from you, but I want someone who can bring value to us the same way we all bring value to each other.
Yeah, I mean, just think about what pieces of the real estate world that are missing, right? So obviously we could fill it up with a bunch of wholesalers and half of them would churn out. That's not exciting to me at all. I would love to get either hard or private money lender in there. That would be pretty cool. Frankly, an insurance agent would be different because that's an important part of the cycle. Really what we need is a licensed agent. We need a licensed agent because my YouTube channel sends business that way. And obviously I would want to send somebody that's part of the hub. I have people from LA and in the Bay Area want to go see stuff. And that's why I created the hub so I can stop going there. I can say, great, go meet Susan or Jerry or Raj or whoever at the hub and let's go. But yeah, I want the pieces to be individually valuable, but I do want to see the puzzle where everybody wins together. And if you don't, like we said earlier, if you don't fit, good news. I can remove you in a month. That's what the lease says. Yeah.
And I mean, so like another quality flipper, hard money lender, insurance people, who else? And yeah, like those, we have 4 open offices. We have 1, 2.
Yeah, 3.
3. Yeah, we have 3 open offices. So if we get 1 agent, 1 lender, and then an insurance guy or another flipper, that'd be awesome. Because we have Airbnb, wholesaling, buy and hold. Me and Kyle are both trying to go sub 2 now, at you as well. And then we have a flipper.
Nope, that's it. I do some flips, but different kind of stuff.
Yeah, different type of flip. Yeah. So
and let's be clear. If we get enough people that really are walking and rolling, I would gladly give up my office and I would just move into one of the little cubby areas right behind the doors, right? Because I'm there 2-3 times a month. But again, I send a lot of people to the hub, right? I have helped you and Adam sell deals with a 30-minute presentation.
Oh yeah.
Right? We are building something together. It's
in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
We sold the deal. We're on the phone like, hey, you think this can work? Like, yeah. All right, let's do this. We got it sold 2 minutes, no questions asked. Easiest sell point ever.
Yep. Yeah, we are helping each other. There is no question. And that's what I love. Everybody, again, I'm very picky with who we're going to put there. You need to be addition. Again, I want you to succeed, but I want all of us to succeed, right? And more importantly, I want Fresno to succeed, right? There's several $100,000 sitting in that building because I want it to be there for a long time.
Awesome. Anything else before you go, my man?
No. I guess there's a 75-day hard challenge and there's other things going on, but let's
talk about that.
Yeah. So one of the things that I get a lot from the One Reel at a Time story is, how do you do it? How do you do it? And a lot of the how do you do it, when you think about real estate, people want to charge you money. So if you've ever heard of the original 75-day hard challenge, it's a physical challenge, right? It's work out twice a day, once outside, no alcohol, eat clean, read a book, take a picture, whatever it is, right? There's 6 or 7 things. I'm like, wow, that's really helped people, right? It's helped people that we know. And I'm like, can I do that for real estate? I'm like, let's think about this. So I created a 75-day hard challenge that's absolutely free to do. It's got 8 steps. I'll see if I can remember them. Step 1 is look at your market twice a day. All I talk about is learn your market. So we're going to look at your market twice a day, which means you would have looked at your market 150 times in 75 days. Number 2 is you're going to track your expenses. I don't care how much goddamn money you make. It's not how much money you make. It's how much you keep, how much you have left over to invest. So let's track your expenses. Let's grow your network. It's not only who knows you, but who you know. So you're going to try to meet 1 new person a day for 75 days. Think about that. You'll know 75 people, but then 75 people will know you. You will read about your market a half hour a day. Again, you'll read about your market for 40 hours. How cool is that? You'll track your expenses and whatnot every Saturday, and you'll report on it. And of course, the 8th one is if you forget a day, you got to start over, right? That's the big penalty of the 75-day hard. So I think it's a great challenge. I created it because I get so many people. How can I start with no money? Well, I have this thing called the 75-day hard challenge. All it does is take time. Get to work. And you know what? Most people won't do it because they're fucking lazy. They're fucking lazy.
I hate this, like, get started with no money and gurus pitch you can get started with no money. You do need money. You're going to have to do something to scrape up money, and then you're going to have to develop a skill to produce more money. That 75 is going to help you produce somewhat of a skill.
Exactly. Yes, the 75. The only thing that the 75-day challenge, if you complete it, is you will have a skill in that market. You will know your market, your variable. You will know 75 people. You will know the story of the city or the state or whatever it is for you. You will be in a position of value. You have no money. You go spend the time in the 75-day challenge. You will attract deals, right? You're going to have to give up a piece of it because you have no money, right? But you will know what a good deal is. Fuck it. You'll know what a great deal is. You just want to sit there and bitch and bang on drums and say nobody loves me and all that nonsense. Money runs away. You go do the work and you prove you did the work, man, amazing things will happen.
Well, even like so I'm looking at a 60-unit apartment complex, a 60-unit like portfolio deal, and I'm going to look at it with Mitch Pomeroy. Networking. Like I don't have the money to take it down. I've networked. I have someone in place. Like, okay, awesome, Mitch. Let's see what we can get going on here. We don't know if it'll go anywhere, but at least my network, and I know how to evaluate it because
you got a shot. Yeah.
Right. To where a lot of these people, they're like, I hate the like, oh, how can I get into this with no money? And people lie to them, telling them like they can do it with no money. Like, bro, you're at least going to need to spend a lot of money on marketing, or go spend gas money or something to acquire properties, develop a skill. I just don't think YouTube's the answer. I think mentorship, whether it's your course or something else, and then developing a skill on top of that is the way to go. That's where every
agree.
If you're going to buy rentals, wholesale, flip, I mean, you want to vet your people, but Jason Pritchard is the only person I know who's been successful off of YouTube.
Yeah, they're out there. It's just the exception, and unfortunately, the exceptions look so good and so easy. It's not for most people. You've got to do the work. You've got to build a skill. As Michael Butler was just saying, it's a skill in a network. And if the 75-day challenge will teach you a skill in a network, and then you go from there.
I think Michael Butler did it all off of YouTube and driving for dollars.
Yeah, driving for sure. Driving for dollars. Yeah, that's money. That's time. Yeah,
money, time. But he was still spending like hundreds of dollars a month sending out letters to where people were like, "Oh, how can I do this with no money?" And then they send me a deal saying, "Hey, I got a deal. It's on Zillow. It's listed. $200,000 overpriced. Like, hey man, I need you to go put in some more like work.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else do we got? We got that. I mean, we could talk about the race inequality. My whole thing is cops need to be better trained. You need to put the right cops in the right areas, right? So if you're from a suburb and you go into the ghetto, you're automatically scared. If you're making decisions while you're scared, you're not going to make the right decision. You're going to make a decision out of fear. And so that's how we see certain situations happen. I'm not on board with defunding the police. Who the fuck is going to come to your house when there's real criminals, right? I mean, people want to get rid of gun laws and get rid of the police. I don't know how you're going to protect yourself. Like, I don't know how California is going to stay alive. But yeah, I mean, I just see we're getting a lot of pushback on like police reform to where, yes, it is. Oh, it's a good thing to say, hey, man, there's a lot of bad people in the world. Some of them become cops. We need to make sure they're more trained and they know what to do in certain situations. And they grew up in the area that they're policing, so they know how to de-escalate whatever situation's happening. Because it is 100% different in a trailer park as compared to growing up in Clovis. If you know how to handle the trailer park,
for sure,
you're fine. Yes, and that's
yeah, I agree.
Stop expecting cops to do everything. I mean, you know what you sign up for, man. You're going to be handling a lot of stuff, but I'm not saying it's an easy job, bro. You're going to see some dark shit.
Oh yeah,
you're going to see some dark shit, but we do.
Yeah, well, let's be
with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, let's be clear, right? That's a job I could never do.
Right?
It's
I'm not saying I could do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, no.
I'm giving answers.
Yeah, no, I think, well, first and foremost, I think race has been something that I just think we all need to talk about more. We need to acknowledge it more, right? It's right. White privilege or whatever you want to call it. I never really appreciated how much it really exists, right? I live in the Silicon Valley. I've never left, right? There's a lot of races going on right around my circle. But to hear some of the stories that I've read recently about the first time folks of African-American or Blacks were pulled over at 13 and 16, just some of the stories that I have read and consistently about the things that they just take as normal. That's not normal shit. That should not be acceptable, right? Teaching your kids, don't wear a hoodie at night. Don't put your hands in your pockets. I mean, stuff that parents are telling their young boys, that should not be okay. We should not accept that that's not okay. We need to talk about it. We need to acknowledge it, and we need to get better every day. We're not going to fix this. We're not going to fix it this month, this year, next year. But if we can just move the ball forward 1% a day or 1% a month, maybe it gets a little bit better. And for me, that means putting some money up to help a family hopefully get into their first home. So I can feel good about trying to help one person a year. I want to do my part. And I don't just want to talk. I want to put real money to work. And some of the stuff I've seen and heard is it doesn't sit well with me, frankly.
Right. And a lot of people just aren't aware of it, which is fine. And
I didn't know.
You're just like, hey, I didn't know this shit happened. I didn't know people had to live this way. But a lot of people are taking it as the way of all these Black people are calling me a racist when it's not that at all. They're like, hey, this is my life. This is my experience with the police. This is why I think things should change. To where now it's an
let's be clear. Yeah. It needs to be a conversation. So let's just be clear, right? Somebody tells me, hey, Michael, you have white privilege. I hear that the first time. I go, fuck you. I work for everything I got. What the hell are you talking about?
Right. And you did.
Right? I mean, that's my natural reaction. I'm not saying it's right, but that's just like, you tell me that, I tell you that. But then you step back and you read situations that you never knew about. You're like, oh shit. There are just levels of stuff I never had to deal with because of the color of my skin. So yeah, you know what? Whether or not I like that term, I get it now. And I never got it before, right? I didn't understand. So my eyes are open. And I want to help.
Against you either, because again, you grew up in the poverty line, like trailer park, and like we could say whatever bad we want about that.
Dude, I have been jumped because of the color of my skin. I went to a very rough junior high. I mean, like there were deaths, there were fights in classrooms, there were teenage girls getting pregnant in junior high, right? So that's the kind of junior high I went to. My mother was afraid I was not going to come home because I'd been jumped many times because of the color of my skin. So I get it. I understand that small part of it. So now just to see it in a much bigger context, again, I fought against it because I came from nothing. But, there was just a level of things that I just didn't appreciate, and shame on me. But I'm going to appreciate it going forward.
And at least it's in like the national conversation, which is, for whatever, you'd be amazed at the amount of pushback I've gotten from people who are in my life who just don't agree. Like, they won't even acknowledge racism is real. It's like, bro, it's real. Like, don't.
Absolutely. I think it was Kudlow. Larry Kudlow came on today, right? The economic, whatever the hell he is, saying that racism is systemic. Racism doesn't exist. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, how arrogant or stupid or both can you possibly be to say that on national TV today? That's just dumb. And it's wrong.
Some people have their own belief systems, and I don't think we should have a victim's mentality at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a very, very fine line of, I'm a a woo-woo guy of like positivity, like thinking real rich. Like, you got to like really, really master this shit to take the steps forward. And so if you grow up telling a kid he's at odds to someone else and he won't be as successful because of someone else, that is what will manifest.
Yeah,
I agree. We cannot hammer that into these kids' heads, but we still do need to make it aware, like, hey, you will be treated differently because of your skin. This is life, but you're no different. You're still going to be successful.
Yeah, and again, I want to do whatever we can in our little circle to help that. And maybe the answer is in the summer, we sponsor 10, 20, 30 kids, and we give them financial education, or I don't know what we do. I am open to anything that we can do to help move our little circle and in our 20, 50, 100 folks forward every year. Whatever you, Michael, other folks that want to join us in Fresno, I'm game. I want to make a difference. And if we can help the next generation just be a little bit better, I'll die happy.
Awesome, bro. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll talk again. Watch his YouTube channel. I'm telling you, his daily financial news will make you smarter. You'll actually be aware of like what's going on in the world. He does all the research for you, so you don't even have to do it, and you get a quick recap.
There you go. Thanks, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.